G'day guys, it's Chris here from Indoors Outdoors with Edgy, and I'm just doing another follow-up video after my bicep surgery that I had. So today is now Monday, the 3rd of February. I had the surgery last Thursday, the 30th, I think, 31st, 30th of January. So, had the surgery, all went well. The surgeon was happy with it. It took a little while to get feeling back in my arm because they had the nerve blocker and stuff in, which I can understand because you don't want to be waking people don't want to be waking up out of the surgery and flinging their arm around and doing any damage to it, so they've got to keep it real still. So, how does it feel today? Alright, let me just set this up. I'll see if I can just set it up. So, keep my arm in a sling. So I'll take this out. Okay. Sorry guys. Anyway. So there's my arm there. And the bicep looks still a little bit swollen, I think. So you've got the main incision down here. And then he had to do a second one up here, obviously to get in and get the tendon, which was hang on, I'll see if I can. Oh, damn. Alright, so you're pretty much trying to hold it like this mostly all the time. I'm doing basic movements as described by the surgeon, and basically 20% up, 20% down, and just sort of doing that all throughout the day as I'm sitting around doing pretty much bugger all. Now in regards to turning, it does hurt when I get to about there, and I can mainly feel it in this area here in my forearm. So it hurts like that. Then when I go back the other way, so I'm trying to, and I have a feeling, it's not too bad actually today, it's a little bit better, but I have a feeling because the surgery is done in here mainly, obviously the tendon has to be pulled down, pulled back, and then stuck in this forearm area. So I'm assuming that the forearm goes through a fair bit of trauma, the muscle and everything in there, because it just feels like it's bruised when I'm pronating, supinating, turning, rotating my arm, but it just feels bruised. So the arm itself looks not too bad. It's still a little bit funny in this area here, touch wise, sensation wise, but again it's probably from the muscle getting. The muscle gets pretty much a fair jolt when they do these surgeries, I could assume. And I think they've even drilled a hole in the bone and put the tendon into the hole, put a plate on the other side to hold it in there so that it grows and doesn't come off again. So all in all, 4 days after, I'm not taking any pain medication. I took the pain patch off on Saturday night because it was making me feel a bit drowsy all the time, and yeah, I didn't want to get constipated. Obviously that morphine stuff makes you clog up a bit, so I stopped that, and I really haven't had to take anything since. I said I'd take Panadol if I needed to, but I really haven't, so there really hasn't been much pain at all. So yeah, all in all, not a bad result so far. The bicep is still, I think, a little bit, the whole arm itself is still a little bit swollen and a little bit tender, especially turning, but yeah, hasn't turned out too bad. I'm happy with it, and I'm just, hopefully I can start, I'll go and see the specialist this Thursday, and hopefully I can start doing a little bit more. Probably not. Probably should do nothing for the first probably 2 weeks after your surgery. I actually find my shoulder feels a bit sore too, because I actually had to put needles into my shoulder and put the blockers in, the nerve blockers. So they did that. I felt them doing that a few times when they were doing that, and it just, yeah, so they obviously had to get in there, and they said they get in there. They said sometimes they could pop your lung, could put it into your lung, but obviously my guy did a good job. Anyway, so that's the result, and I'm just, with the movement, you don't want to go too hard. You don't want to go too hard with movement. You just want to make sure it's not too tight, and if you can do a few of these all throughout the day, then that'll probably help with the recovery and the movement later on. Because if you just sit there doing nothing, I can imagine when you start to do movement, those small movements, it'll probably be quite stiff. Your muscles will set, they won't be used to moving. So I'm trying not to move too much. I'm trying to have it in a sling as when I'm walking around and so forth, but obviously daily life and all the stuff, you know, here at home and all that, I got to move it to do things, lift stuff, carry stuff. So I just adjust, just adapt to the movements that I need to do, and don't do anything too sudden with this arm, because I found a couple of sudden movements now and then does jolt it, and it really hurts. So any sudden movement I try to steer clear of. So yeah, Outdoors with Edgy. I'm Chris. Just probably the last update video I'll do on this. There's no one wants to hear about the bicep tendon recovery process. There's probably 1,000 videos on YouTube you can watch, which I'll still be watching anyway while I recover. But anyway, that's my recovery process and operation and everything. So yeah, maybe if you get something out of it, that's good. I'll be trying to get myself recovered, work up my rehabilitation, get it sorted so that I can get back to the beach and get out to the gold prospecting areas and do some more prospecting for you guys, see if I can find some gold. Get the gold. Try and do a new type of gold hunting called sniping, where you swim in the creeks, the rocky creeks, and snipe the crevices and bedrock for gold nuggets and gold pickers and pieces. So I'll be trying that too. I'm just getting the equipment all sorted out so that I've got everything ready to go. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you like sort of the outdoors, the detecting, the beach detecting, parks, gold, magnet fishing, any sort of stuff out there that I can get into and do, I'll be doing. So I'll see you next time.